The Simpson family is simply put damn right pissed off and angry. It's been more than a month since the death of their loved one, Robin Simpson. Her husband, Michael Simpson Jr., is accused of brutally murdering her in front of their 8-year-old daughter here in Houston. Simpson is accused of stabbing Robin more than 100 times and mutilating her body beyond recognition. Family members say even cutting out, get this, her heart and her brain. Simpson was arrested and remains in jail in lieu of a $340,000 bond. All he needs to pay to get out is $34,000, the standard 10%.
Family members of a murdered woman in Houston are raising questions about how long it took police to respond the night she died. The victim was identified as Robin Simpson. Police said she was stabbed to death by her husband in front of their 8-year-old daughter. Her family wants to know how long it took police to show up after she called 911. ABC Houston affiliate went to the Houston Police Department to get those answers, but officials said request was needed. An officer on the scene Wednesday told KTRK they entered the home after the couple's daughter came out and said, "Daddy is stabbing mommy." She was stabbed in an attempt murder-suicide in a Brookhaven neighborhood on Houston's South Side, according to police. Houston police were called at a home on Alberta Street near Sunflower Street just after 4 a.m. Wednesday. A 911 caller reported told dispatchers her husband was in a major crisis and is running around with a knife having suicidal thoughts. So in this situation, we see that this mother was stabbed to death. The police came to the scene, just to rewind, the police came to the scene and this woman was alive in the house on the police calling the operator. While police were waiting outside, they didn't enter the home right away. But within those minutes, while they were outside, this woman was stabbed, I believe it was 100 times, by her husband of, I believe, 15 years, 20 years, something to that effect. And the daughter was an 8-year-old. And the only reason why the police entered the house is because the 8-year-old ran out and said her daddy was stabbing her mother. This goes to show a lot. And it goes to show it is very difficult out there when you are choosing a partner for the rest of your life. How could this man do this thing? And the family is saying that he did all of it on purpose. So he played crazy in the last few days, was saying that, oh, you know, I feel out of my mind. I feel anxiety. I feel anxious. Went to get pills or something to that effect. And then a couple of days later, stabbed his wife 100 times.
I don't think that Robin thought at any point that she was in danger per se. She didn't share that with us, but I know that there were instances. But there were other things, you know, that he tried to have himself 302 to quite a few times, you know, 2 or 3 times right before he killed Robin. It almost feels like he knew what he was going to do. He premeditated what he was going to do because they were married for 12 years. All of a sudden, a couple weeks before you kill her, you're having anxiety, you're hearing voices, you're contemplating suicide, you're having all of these crazy thoughts. He chased her around the house before the time that he killed her with a knife. It's what we are now to understand. It was just a couple days before. So I think what he was trying to do was create a narrative of insanity. and he was trying to create paperwork. So he went and he visited a couple psychiatrists, psychologists. All of them gave him medicine. How? Do they not talk to each other? Do they not see something where they log in and see his name where he is doing, going to different people and getting all of these different medications? So I think what he was doing was actually plotting an insanity defense for what he was going to do.
But he also stabbed himself.
And he stabbed himself to make it look like it was a struggle.
He stabbed himself, but he did stab himself enough to
Go to the hospital
in critical condition.
So I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
I know.
That's real.
What'd you say?
I said I'll start. I have no problem. First and foremost, as an adult and just as a woman, I've been through mild abuse. I've been through full-on abuse. I've been through abuse that I didn't know was abuse. I've been through it all. So you'll think that a person is playing crazy. People really be crazy. People really trauma-filled. People really be jealous. People really can't function in your presence because you're surrounded by love. That baby love their mommy. That baby might be scared of daddy. It's a lot of little things that'll take a person and take them to a whole other, to where the only thing they could think of is inflicting pain on you. So when you think if somebody's playing crazy, if you think somebody's playing crazy, you might need to go evaluate. 9 times out of 10, that person might really be a bug out. And for you to stab yourself, you're
multiple times.
That's wild.
That's hard.
Stab yourself.
How do you do that?
Exactly. To wax yourself. A girl put wax on her underarm. She was standing there for 30 minutes contemplating on if she could pull it off or not.
Right.
It got to be something. So he must have been had these problems, and then it exploded.
Also, let me just add in here also to bring context to this as well. He stabbed her and cut her brain out.
What?
And he cut her heart out.
He's crazy. He's jealous. He's mad at how she thinks. He's mad at her heart. He's mad. So he went.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Terrible.
The family.
But this is the crazier part, right? Because her best friend said that there was never any abuse.
Right.
You don't know that.
Right.
How much
she knows of?
How much you hide from your friends?
Right.
Men you done dealt with that your friends don't know you ever dealt with. Like everybody got secrets. If I'm with a man for 25 years and you my friend, I'm not gonna tell you when my man starts abusing me. You're gonna think I'm crazy for staying with him. I'm not gonna leave. I've been with him. I'm not strong enough to do that. So I'm definitely strong enough to tell you so you could judge me now. Absolutely not. If you know your man is abusive, you're not running and telling nobody that if you're not leaving. This is like a universal thing. Like this is, if you speak to any woman of abuse, they all have the same stories. Narcissism is the same story. Manipulation is the same story. Jealousy is the same story. When it comes from men, it's just a little bit more crazy because they deceive you. They have sex with you. They kiss on you. They buy you stuff. It's a little different. When it's a girl and a girl, you be like, oh, you jealous of me, sis, bet. And you get out the situation. Not when it's a man and a woman in a relationship and a marriage. It's different. He snapped.
100%. They missed it. 'Cause it's not possible that just nobody saw anything in all those years. They just missed it or ignored it or really didn't. That wasn't new.
And maybe they were just as weak as she was mentally in terms of being able to identify the abuse. Maybe they couldn't even identify what was going on, or maybe they couldn't address her. Yo, this seemed a little funny. Are you okay?
You know, some people really embellish on manipulation, but then it's so close to turning to abuse.
Manipulation can be abuse, but depending on what the intention is, because manipulation is a skill, right? And it's intentional, but what's your intention? Because it could be a good intention. You know, why am I manipulating this situation? Am I manipulating it to turn into something positive, a positive outcome? Or is it a negative thing? Or is it a selfish thing? Or is it, you know what I mean? So it depends.
I think manipulation in science and chemistry is the best place for it to be. Amongst humans, not a good idea. If you want, if you got another motive, don't be surprised when that person finds out that you're a manipulator, and then they start calling you a bunch of other things. Because once you feel manipulated, they feel like you're the devil, you're insecure, jealous, you, and now you got a bunch of stuff with your ego to fix. Because now you wondering, am I all those things? Yes, you're between people, these good people.
Right, I agree.
I didn't have that conversation earlier. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is it's a terrible place to fall in. And the reason why I say fall is because it kind of is, because before you know it, it's so quick that you into that situation and you don't even know you in it.
You falling right into that manipulation, falling in love, my girl. And not sometimes it's what make it sad is like a lot of abusers, like they don't know that about themselves. There's a lot that do. There's a lot that
don't know it.
Like, I'm this, I'm that. And then there's some people who get out of it, heal through it. And there's people that end up being like that their whole lives. And some people that's like that because their family tree is like that. That's all they know. That's all they seen. So it's a hard to it's a hard curse to break. Like
the worst one though are the ones that know what they're doing. And they know that they're doing it.
They know they proud.
What I do or what happens, this is just you, and you only feel empowered if I'm nothing. If I feel like nothing, that fuels you. That's so scary. Because that's 100 times. Facts.
Crazy.